Welcome back, everyone, to another session at the MA English Cafe, where we make learning English feel like a chat with friends.
That's right. So, Jenny, I'm curious. The theme today is all about the past. Tell me about your yesterday. Was it exciting? Productive?
Productive is definitely one word for it. It was one of those days that started super organized and then just went sideways. I woke up early, had my to-do list ready, and I was determined to deep clean the entire apartment. I had been putting it off for weeks, so I thought, today is the day.
The classic deep clean day. I know that feeling of ambition. How did it go?
Well, the first couple of hours were great. I was listening to music, cleaning the kitchen, feeling on top of the world. Then I decided to tackle the big bookshelf. I had a vision of organizing all the books by color. It was going to look amazing. But as I was pulling all the books off the shelf, I didn't realize one of the brackets holding the shelf up was a bit loose.
Oh no, I think I know where this is going.
You guessed it. The whole shelf just gave way and collapsed. Books went flying everywhere. It sounded like a small explosion. My neighbor from downstairs actually knocked on my door a few minutes later to ask if I was okay. I was so embarrassed, just standing there in a mountain of books. My productive cleaning day turned into a chaotic rebuilding project.
That's brilliant. So you spent the rest of the day fixing a shelf instead of cleaning?
Exactly. By the time I had fixed it and put all the books back, not organized by color, I might add, I was too exhausted to do anything else. So much for my productive day. If you've ever had a simple task turn into a complete disaster, let us know in the comments. And while you're there, make sure you're subscribed to MA English so you don't miss our future stories. What about you? Your yesterday had to be less chaotic than mine.
Well, it was less physically chaotic, but it had its own special kind of stress. It was all about a single email. Yesterday was the deadline for a huge project report at work, and I had been working on it all week. I finally finished it around lunchtime, proofread it, and attached it to an email to send to my boss.
Sounds straightforward enough.
It should have been. But as I was writing the email, my colleague, Dave, sent me a really funny meme. Without thinking, I attached the meme to a reply-all email to our entire department, thinking I was just sending it back to him. A second after I hit send, I realized what I had done. I had just sent a ridiculous meme about cats to the entire management team. The panic was real.
No. The dreaded reply all. What did you do?
I completely froze for about 10 seconds. My screen was just staring back at me. I had already sent the email, so there was no taking it back. I had a vision of getting called into the head office. But then something amazing happened. The department head, a very serious woman named Mrs. Gable, replied to everyone with an even funnier cat meme.
You're kidding.
I'm not. She wrote, "Thanks for the laugh, Ben." Approved. It turned out to be the best mistake I could have made. The whole department was laughing, and it completely broke the tension of the project deadline. While everyone was emailing back and forth about the memes, I quietly sent the actual report just to my boss. So my yesterday was a roller coaster of pure terror followed by massive relief.
Wow, that's an incredible story. It just goes to show you never know what a day will bring. So after your work drama, what did you do in the evening?
I was so drained from the stress that I just wanted to relax. I had planned to cook a proper meal, but after the email incident, I just ordered a pizza and watched a film. I chose a really old action movie that I had loved as a kid. It was exactly what I needed. Just simple, nostalgic fun. I hadn't seen it in years, and it was even better than I remembered.
That sounds like a perfect way to unwind. My evening was the opposite. After my bookshelf disaster, I felt I needed to get out of the apartment. I met up with a friend I hadn't seen in ages. We went to a small cafe downtown. We were just catching up for hours, talking about everything. It was so nice. We had been meaning to meet up for months, but something always came up.
That's the best. Just a simple, good conversation.
It really is. It totally saved my day from being a complete write-off. It's funny how our days were so different, yet both ended up being pretty memorable. And for everyone listening, if you're enjoying our stories and finding this conversation useful, we'd really appreciate it if you give the video a quick like.
Absolutely. But our stories weren't just stories. They were packed full of different past tenses. I think now is the perfect time to switch gears and actually break down the grammar we were using.
I agree. It's time for the English lesson.
All right, let's get into it. The most common tense we used is the past simple. We use this for completed actions in the past at a specific time. For example, I said, I finished it around lunchtime and I ordered a pizza. These are finished actions.
And I said, the whole shelf collapsed, and my neighbor knocked on my door. The action started and finished in the past. It's the backbone of any story you tell about yesterday.
Next up is the past continuous. We use this to describe an action that was in progress at a specific time in the past. It often gets interrupted by a past simple action. For instance, I said, as I was writing the email, my colleague Dave sent me a meme. The writing was in progress and the sending interrupted it.
That's a perfect example. I used it too. I said, as I was pulling all the books off the shelf, I didn't realize. The action of pulling the books was ongoing. We form it with was, were, plus the ing form of the verb. It's great for setting the scene in a story.
Now for a slightly trickier one, the past perfect. We use this to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past. It's the past of the past. I used it when I said, a second after I hit send, I had already sent the email, so there was no taking it back. The action of sending happened before the moment of realization.
Exactly. It helps to clarify the order of events. I used it when I said, I had been putting it off for weeks. This is actually the past perfect continuous, which emphasizes the duration of an activity that was happening before another past event. I was putting it off for a long time before I finally decided to clean.
Let's also quickly look at some vocabulary we used. I said I was drained and my story was a roller coaster. Drained means completely exhausted, physically or mentally. A roller coaster is a great metaphor for a situation with lots of dramatic ups and downs.
And I said my day went sideways, which is a great idiom that means it went wrong or didn't go as planned. I also said the bookshelf disaster was a complete write-off, meaning it was a total failure or a waste of time. These phrases make your story sound much more natural and engaging.
And that's really the key. By mixing these tenses and using some rich vocabulary, you can turn a simple story about your yesterday into something really interesting to listen to.
Absolutely. And that's our lesson for today at the MA English Cafe. We hope this helps you talk about your past with more confidence and style.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Practice telling someone about your yesterday, and we'll see you in the next episode.